Hello, Pastor Danielle Bridgeforth here, coming to you on the 40th and final day of Lent 2022. I want to thank you for journeying with me throughout these 7 weeks. Today is Holy Saturday, and it is the day after Good Friday when Christ was crucified, and of course, Sunday morning when Jesus was resurrected early. And today I want to focus us not on the seventh practice of the way of love that Bishop Curry shares with us. That practice is the practice of rest, which we'll come back to. But today I want to center us on this thought, the space in between. We don't know a lot about what was going on that Saturday, that Holy Saturday after Christ's crucifixion. But we do have some glimpses as to how many people were feeling. In fact, here in Matthew 27, verses 62 through 65, we read these words. The next day, which is Saturday, the one after preparation day, the chief priests and the Pharisees went to Pilate. Sir, they said, we remember that while he was still alive, that deceiver said, after 3 days, I will rise again. So give the order for the tomb to be made secure until the 3rd day. Otherwise, his disciples may come and steal the body and tell the people that he had been raised from the dead. This last deception will be worse than the first. And what we see here is that one of the things that happens in the space between is that we are afraid. We have uncertainty. We might be lamenting or disappointed about where we are. We don't know. The disciples didn't know. The Pharisees didn't know. Pilate didn't know what was going to happen in that space in between Friday and Sunday. We had heard what Jesus said, but even those who followed and believed in Jesus weren't expecting a resurrection. Instead, they were preparing for embalming and a further burial. But I want us to understand that even in these moments when we're in between our hopes and dreams and our reality, in between our right now and our not yet, in between who we are and who we're yet becoming, you can still find God and Christ is still with you. Let me leave with you 3 things that you can learn about Christ in that space in between, in those times between your sadness and your joy. First of all, remember in those times in between that God's timing is perfect. God always knew, Jesus always knew that he was going to get up out of the grave. He knew that before he went there. And especially on Saturday, he was aware of what the reality was. We have to trust God's perfect timing in our lives and not put things on our timetable. In fact, it bothers me about myself sometimes that I think God is limited by time. But hear me good. God can never be limited by something that God created. And God created all things. Jesus said, all things were created by me. And so God's timing is perfect. Remember that when you're in your space in between. But secondly, remember that Christ's touch is personal. When Jesus is resurrected on Sunday morning, he's going to show himself to each of his disciples and to many other people in a very particular way so that they will know that it's him. And we have to anticipate that whatever God is doing in our lives, God isn't doing a one-size-fits-all type of work. No, God is doing something that is personal and is going to take the touch of God to bring it to fruition. So don't be concerned when you're in between seasons, in between relationships, in between right now and where you're going. Just trust that God will do, that Jesus will touch you personally. But third and finally, and most of all, perhaps, when we are in that space in between, we have to remember that today is precious. That Saturday of Holy Week, that is all those thousands of years ago, was filled with fear and uncertainty. It was wrought with the disciples and the believers thinking that their God had been taken away. The one that they had believed was the one was not the one. But I hope that they didn't not appreciate the day and be together. And friends, that's what we must remember to do. Today is precious. Don't get so caught up in where you want to be that you forget to thank God for where you are, even if where you are isn't where you want to stay. Today is precious. Today is all you have. This moment is yours to grasp. So when you're in the space in between, remember that God's timing is perfect. Remember that Christ's touch is personal. And most of all, remember that today is precious. Go live today. Thank you for journeying with me. I'll be back again soon with more of these devotionals, but continue to pray, and I hope you're going to worship tomorrow on Resurrection Sunday. I love you, and I look forward to talking to you again real soon. God bless you.